Michigan Beach Fancy.
I tore myself away from overwork in great torment, as it was the opposite of what everyone else would do. And after a few beautiful adventures driving down to Florida, sleeping in rest areas, and befriending all the raccoons along the way, I was staring at my maps, searching for a new adventure, when suddenly I remembered how a New York radio station used to say,
Relax, you're living on an island.
I looked at the map of Michigan, and it finally dawned on me. I'm already surrounded by beaches. I guess I never really needed to drive all the way down to Florida. It's not like it is some big exclusive island or something. In the same moment, I realized why Michigan dislikes Ohio. Because it is the anchor that tethers it to terra firma. If it wasn't for Ohio, Michigan would be the best exotic island in the world. By the way, everyone ignores Indiana. Nobody is quite sure why, or if it's even a real place. And it is as if it simply does not exist. Most people, if they think about it, think it's somewhere by Montana. But Michiganders never ever mention it at all. At all. Outside of Indiana Jones, I've never heard anyone mention Indiana in any way, shape, or fashion, nor have I seen any signs pointing there. So, Ohio is literally the only reason why Michiganders are always suspicious and kind of unhappy. If Ohio suddenly disappeared the way Indiana did, there'd be tiki bars, hula dancers, and smiles everywhere.
I myself, for one, would never wear a shirt if I could help it. Winter on a big island actually sounds really warm.
It is a little known fact that the name Ohio is actually a mix-up. It was a child's drawing of a tractor that was then misinterpreted by a politician. The big rear wheel was misread as letter O. The tractor cabin was read as an H. The I was the happy little exhaust sticking up, and the front wheel was again misread as the letter O. Ohio. It isn't known if the politician was unhinged or if it was the child that was that bad at drawing a tractor. Please don't misunderstand. I have nothing against Ohio. I switched buses there once on a trip to New York, and I thought it was a lovely place. But yeah, I can totally understand native Michiganders. So close to living on an island, and yet so freaking far. I originally never intended to drive down to Florida and the Keys, which are little tiny islands, very pretty. But I got on the I-275 highway south and decided to keep going forward until it ends. And what I discovered were beaches. And now I did the same thing but in the opposite direction. Then I get turned around and ended up on 96 North, and that became US Route 31. It was quite an experience the first time because US 31 simply ends when it gets to US 10. And that's where I discovered the cute little city of Ludington, where I enjoyed all my beaches the most. The nearby Nordhaus Wilderness is a precious and charming place, if not downright magical, to be honest. but it is somewhat rough. It is a long walk, and it is uphill both ways, if I may. There is at least one family of black bears, a porcupine, and several tame deer. And as I found out in the only hot flash of my life, a hog-nosed snake, which I could swear I saw a sign that named it a viper. Yikes. Apparently it does not bite, but do not let it gum you, or whatever you call it, as both of you will get really irritated. He is said to be mildly venomous, and swelling will probably occur. And as you can imagine, sand is everywhere, and it gets into everything. It is a little known fact that Lake Michigan sand is actually where the name sandwich comes from. You'll figure out why exactly when you bring lunch to a windy Michigan beach. Aside from the enormous ancient dunes that cannot possibly exist in Florida, no way. The thing that makes Lake Michigan, on the Michigan side, special is the sunsets. No matter where you go, you get a perfect front seat to watch the sun set over the infinite lake horizon. The whole beach, which is almost 300 miles long. And it's never crowdy, and it is rarely cloudy. The lake somehow blows all the clouds away. It rarely rains. If you look around for long enough, and it is only a matter of time, you can watch the sun set over the lake by a bonfire, cooking dinner, with the sausage stick in hand.